Hi, ladies and gentlemen, lovely listeners. I'm Caleb Lamte, your host for the Young and Old podcast. In this podcast, I interview some of Africa's top achievers across various disciplines all over the world. They share their habits, values, and principles that have brought them this far. Stay tuned and enjoy the conversation. Our guest for today is Maajoa Asabea Yeboah. She's a creative in the fashion and tourism industry. In our conversation today, we spoke about how Maajoa got into fashion, even though she was studying accounting in school. We also talked about she getting interested in tourism and starting a tourism business, which is EWM Tours. She shares her story on the different things she has tried and a mantra and values which she has worked with. In this conversation, you see how she sustains her business and also engage in social enterprises as well. You can follow Maajoa on social media across all networks at Maajoa, which is Maajoa, and follow her business as well at EWM Tours. Stay tuned and enjoy our conversation. Right. Maajoa Asabea Yeboah.
Yes, you did. Maajoa Asabea Yeboah.
So we are going straight. Maajoa, can you tell us about your childhood, where you grew up, and schooling?
My childhood. Okay, so I grew up in the Eastern region. So I lived in three places. There's Suhum, there's Asamankasi, and there's Oda. And that was because my parents were teachers and they were transferred from place to place. So that's how it started. And I attended different schools, too many schools, right from primary to JHS. But then I attended SHS at the Suhum Secondary Technical School. So yeah, that's about it, I think.
All right. So what are some of the things that shaped your life? I mean, looking at your childhood, where you grew up, and your schooling, what are some of the things that shaped your life in this case?
I don't really think there was anything back then because I think I grew up a normal teenager. If anything at all, it was when I came to tertiary and aftermath that probably did something. I don't know, but I'm just guessing. So
Okay. So how did you get your first job? I mean, after school. Um, what program did you do in school? And can you tell us after school how you got your first job?
I studied accounting. So I'm an accountant outside everything else, but I've never had a job before, which is usually surprising to people. I've never had a job like other people do. So I've worked for myself since I was out of school. Yeah, I've never had a job. So I don't really know how the corporate world works, but I studied accounting and I'm an accountant.
All right. So what was the first thing you got yourself doing after school?
Sorry, the first what?
The first work you started doing as an entrepreneur.
I started my fashion brand after school. Actually, I started whilst I was still in school. So I just ran with it after I finished school.
All right. So and how did you get into fashion? See, because you're studying accounting. I don't know how accounting relates with fashion, but can you tell
Yeah.
us?
Yeah, it was a passion of mine. I genuinely did not want to study accounting. My father was a banker though, so he wanted me to follow his footsteps. So that was me trying to follow his footsteps. But I really wanted to be a fashion designer. And in school, luckily for me, there was a big fashion department at where I studied. That is Accra Technical University. And I had a lot of friends in the fashion department. So I think I was very interested in everything else. And I picked a few things whilst I was there. And I'm actually self-taught. So I started designing pieces myself whilst I was in school. And after school, I just grew from there.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And how the tourism aspect also come into being because you're in fashion. You don't know how you moved into tourism.
Yeah, that was very natural. I'm a traveler. First of all, I'm a traveler. So I was already traveling for a while, for a couple of years. And I only started creating tours when I think that was just last year. And that was just out of me putting something together for my friends. That's actually how it started. My friends wanted to go with me on my tours. So I put something together for my friends and I opened it up to my social media followers. I happen to have a large following online. So I opened it up and that was how it started. So from one trip, I organized the next and then I registered a full blown tour agency. So that's how that started. But before that, I was just a solo traveler and I was already running around West Africa.
And what's the inspiration for taking tours and traveling around?
Aside from traveling around, okay. I don't know. I like to travel. I like to experience new things. I like to experience new people. So it's not really much per se, and that's the same thing with my tours as well. I put tours together so that people can experience new places and new things. And as I've been learning a lot on the job, I learned earlier that most people do not even know more than 3 regions in Ghana, and that felt like a problem for me to solve. And I'm happy I've been creating thoughts around that since then.
All right. So for those who don't know the three regions in Ghana, are they Ghanaians or
Yeah,
foreigners?
they are very much Ghanaians, and it's funny because these are the same people who put money together and travel, go on vacations abroad in Europe, US every year, but they don't know their own country. So there's a lot of stereotypes. Like there's a whole lot people do not know. For example, I know people who didn't go as far as Kumasi and they lived in Accra. So they've lived in Accra, they studied in Accra, they married in Accra, they are working in Accra. They've gone as far as maybe Cape Coast, but that's just about it. And these are people who take luxury vacations abroad. They just don't know Ghana. And that was really interesting to me.
I see. That sounds very interesting. Really, for people in Ghana not knowing beyond, Cape Coast and Kumasi is I know where to
And
go
it's
crowded.
actually not so far fetched. There's a lot of people like that. I have an uncle recently telling me that his work takes him to some of the capital cities, but he's surprised when I mention a particular town. And this is a town he passes frequently, but did not know. He didn't even know there was a tour attraction there. He didn't know anything about the people there. So I think it's very common. People just don't really pay attention to their surroundings more than they do. The appeal for traveling abroad is greater than traveling locally, which is problem for local tourism. But hopefully, we are doing something about it.
All right, so I want to talk about the fashion. So you spoke about being self-taught. For listeners, what would you tell them about being self-taught? What surrounds being self-taught? Yeah.
Yeah, it starts with you having the passion for it and you getting all the tools required for it and you maybe understudying someone if that's possible. So it's two things. You can get an apprenticeship or you can be so passionate that you get all the materials and tools required and start doing something for yourself, which may or may not work out. But in my case, I had the passion, I had the tools, I had the resources, and it worked out for me. So yeah, self-taught. There's a lot of self-taught people in various uh, careers. So I think it starts mainly with passion and you having the knowledge and the tools or resources to start.
All right. And for people, who have the passion and maybe they might say they don't have the resources, what advice do you give to them?
Get the resources. I don't know how else. You get the resources. You have to start somewhere though. I mean, you can't have everything, but you have to have something. I mean, you can afford an electronic sewing machine, which is very expensive, but you can afford the locally tabletop handmade one. Then you start from there. So you need to start somewhere.
Right. And how do you manage, I mean, these two businesses? Because they are all creative businesses, both fashion and tourism. Tell us about that. How you do that?
Luckily for me, I am able to do a lot at a time, and it's all paced out. I don't do tours all the time. I do tours about 3 4 times a year, so I have enough time to do everything else. Fashion is my main profession. I'm a full-time fashion accessory designer, and I teach fashion accessories. So that's my full-time profession. But tours come in and out. Sometimes I create it around holidays. I create it around vacation periods, etc. So I'm able to juggle both. Although it's becoming tedious, and I might someday need a team, but for now, it's working out.
So what's the team size for now? How many people are running
Oh,
your
for
team?
fashion, I work with 4 people. But with my chores, it's just me and then me and myself. For the tourism part, it's just me doing everything. I of course I have a driver, and I work with the various hotels and resorts, but I put everything together myself. I physically travel with people on all these tours myself. So with my fashion business, I work with a team, but with tourism, it's just me.
This sounds interesting. And you earlier on you mentioned about people being more aware of, I mean, foreign tourist sites than even our local tourist sites. And you mentioned that we have to push Ghana's tourism forward. What are some of the ways you think local tourism can be enlightened? I mean, can be shared about to people?
Yeah, for starters, it has to begin with having, I think for the most part, Ghana tends to be very expensive. Accra, for instance, is very expensive. So it's cut across. Our economy is such that people can't afford basic luxury without spending so much, which is unfortunate, because when you compare a hotel in Ghana to a hotel in, let's say, Dubai, someone would much prefer to spend in Dubai than in Ghana, which makes sense to me, because when you have to put it all together to the northern region, for example, and as much as my tours are budget friendly, there are tickets where you have to like really spend to travel. If, for instance, if you want to travel like 3 regions in Ghana, you have to really spend as much as you're probably doing an Euro tour, which people would not want to do because they'd rather just spend and travel abroad. At least you are traveling outside your continent. So it will have to start with making tourism affordable in Ghana. Even the tour attractions charge so much for entrance fees and whatnot that sometimes you wonder why that is so. But that's just how it is for now. So hopefully, if things can ease up, then those of us who put these things together can also make it much affordable, and the appeal will be there, and people will be much more interested in seeing their own land.
Okay. Okay. So what was your dream job? I mean, when you were younger, what was your dream job?
I've never dreamt of having a job. I just wanted to chill. I'm playing. I always wanted to be an air hostess. So I think maybe that's where my passion for traveling also comes from. I wanted to be an air hostess, and I remember when I finished high school, back then Ghana Airways had a training school, but you could not get in without a degree first. By the time I was done with tertiary, the school was no longer functioning. So that was a dream killer for me. Yeah. But I wanted to be an air hostess. I felt like it would be fun, a fun job to have. And but I still travel around, and it's fun now, so it's fine.
Uh, it's okay for that. I mean, you're still traveling, so now you're not an hostess. You're more than that. That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Do you recall some of the situations that nearly led you to giving up on some of your dreams and your visions?
Oh, a lot. All the time. There's there are days you wake up and you want to just lay down your tools and not do it again. But there are days when that one simple good feedback keeps you going and then you're happy. Entrepreneurship is very hard, and it's even harder to do in Ghana, especially if you don't have everything in your corner or the resources or the tools or the expenses to. There's a lot that goes into building a business and even sustaining it in Ghana. It's very difficult. And those of us who do it, we are basically do it hand to mouth. So there are days when you don't want to do it due to a lot of reasons, but there are days when it's good and you keep going. So we have good days and we have bad days. So yeah.
And what has been the motivation to, override some of these problems and challenges? What gives you?
Make money.
Aside
I don't know what other motivation there would be aside from making money and surviving. You know, yeah, we're just trying to make money and survive and feed ourselves in this Accra we are in. But basically, I love to teach, I love to create, I love to travel. So there's always a fundamental passion there. But at the end of the day, it's about earning a living, obviously. But there's always a passion. Everything I do is passion driven. I only uh, start businesses that I am passionate about, if I can put it like that. So that helps because I'm already excited about what I do. So although I'm doing it for money, I do it also because I love to do it. So that's keeps me going, I guess.
Yeah. So I listened to one of your interviews, I think on CCTV, and you mentioned that with your fashion, you teach others, including people in other West African countries. Can you talk about that?
Yes. So I own a foundation called One Girl, One Skill. It's been dormant for about 2 years now, but hopefully, when everything is safe and calm, I can get to organize training workshops again. So what I do is I teach women and girls my fashion skills and then thereby empowering them to start businesses on their own. And I partner with NGOs and individuals and businesses across West Africa. So far, I taught people in Liberia, I've done Nigeria, I've done so many workshops in Ghana, too many. So hopefully I can keep it going. But for now, it's dormant. But it's something I love to do. I love to teach people, and I love to contribute to the society. So that was something that is still something I'm very passionate about and something I love doing. The last workshop in Ghana, I think that was in 2018 with Save the Street Foundation, and it was a very good workshop. So yeah, that's something I'm really passionate about that I hope to keep doing in the near future.
Okay, we're looking forward to that, and I'll not mind contributing the little I can do to make it work.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into them, but hopefully I'll get it all together and get new people to partner with so that I can keep it running when it's safe.
Great, great. Then all the best as we put things together. So, for your work, what are some of the things you do regularly to improve your work and also your life, and as a fashion designer at all, and as in your personal life, what are some of the things you do to improve your work?
I like feedbacks. I take feedbacks very seriously. So, negative, positive, I always ask for them. And that keeps you going because I love to learn on the job. I love, love, love to learn on the job. So, I always ask for feedbacks so that I can improve upon my skill, so that I can improve upon my work. But I also like to adapt and uh, learn something new all the time. So for for my fashion brand, if anybody who's followed us over the past 7 years knows that we've had different collections and the various set of products coming out every year. Last year wasn't different, but we don't know how COVID is making things look this year, but hopefully I'll have a collection mid-year. So I'm always bringing out new ideas, new pieces, new products. So I like to explore and experiment with new things. So that's what I do to keep, because there's a lot of designers in Ghana, so you need to stay competitive, and it's helped me because I like to try new things and it works out most of the time. And in my personal life, I think mainly traveling brings a lot of new perspectives. So when you travel, you learn a lot. You learn so much, something new all the time. And I like to take a lot of breaks and rests so that I can always recharge. So I guess that's it for my personal and fashion, I guess.
All right. So, I mean, for Ghana in 2019, we had the year of return. How did that influence the tourism
Oh,
industry?
I started my tour agency, I think that same month. So I didn't really, uh, what's the word, cash in like most businesses did. But I think personally, I experienced a whole new version of Ghana where new people came into the country to experience our country, and I loved seeing it. I had some friends coming from Nigeria, some from Zimbabwe, that I showed them around, and I saw Ghana through their eyes, the excitement about seeing certain places. I met new people, I learned new things. So I think it's a nice concept. It's a very nice concept, and I hope it keeps running. But it's something that if we can sustain it as a country, it's not going to only bring us uh, new businesses all the time. It's also going to help us learn more from our own brothers and sisters from the diaspora. So I loved Year of Return. I enjoyed it that December because I had friends coming in and I saw the whole country around with them. And I also experienced people coming in and saw things from their perspective. So I loved it.
Great. So, where do you see yourself? I mean, in the next 10 years for business?
A billionaire. I'm hoping to make so much money so I can stop working. The goal is to retire at 40. So I have a lot of years to go, but I'm hoping to get there soon.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, what's the foundation for setting that goal at 40?
Well, because I don't believe in working all your lives and retiring at 60. I don't believe in that at all. I feel like you live your whole life working. That is not the way to live. That's just my opinion. That's not how you should live. And I think I'm a very I am very content with what's the word? I like to I take what I can get and I'm done. That's just me. So I'm not really I'm not over ambitious, if I can put it like that. I'm not over ambitious. So I do what I can, I earn what I can, and I'm okay with it. So I'm hoping to retire at 40. Right now I think I have about 8 years to go. So that's a good number. I feel like I can do it. I can earn, work, earn enough so that I can just relax and travel the world more. So yeah, that's the goal for the next, you said 10 years. I think in 8 years I can actually retire and just be with my family, travel the world and just chill.
Well, I can't wait to see that happen. And maybe by the
It's gonna
time
happen.
you share details on how you got there with us. So I'm looking forward to
Yes, yes,
it.
yes.
And what are, I mean, some of the values you carry personally, some of the values you work with.
I like honesty. I like honesty a lot. That's my number one value. I feel like people should be completely boundlessly honest all the time. It's rare, but that's probably why I cherish it a lot. So personal values, honesty, that's like the ultimate for me.
All right. And what else? What do you do in your leisure times aside traveling and or maybe being in your
I'm
passion?
a I'm a movie geek. I watch too many movies. I watch too much TV shows. So I think I've seen every good TV show there is. So that's how addicted I am to TV shows. So when I'm not traveling or creating, I'm watching TV. And I'm not really, I don't like roaming. For some reason, I like traveling, but I don't like roaming the city or going out, as we call it. So I'm usually just home working because I work from home too. So I'm usually home working or just watching some TV shows.
All right. And what's the best movie you've watched so far? I mean, the movie and
I
TV show.
think so far I would probably right now, and this was in 2018. And there's a lot, but for now, I'll probably go with Greenland. It was a good show. It was very interesting. It was kind of realistic because we're already in a pandemic, and although that one had less to do with the pandemic, it was so realistic that makes you want to rethink life and everything. Greenland was a good TV show. No, it was a movie rather. It was a really good movie, and I loved it.
Yeah, I think I've not watched that, but I'll check it out after.
Absolutely sure. It's really nice.
And what's your definition for success for you?
Um, a lot of people might disagree, but I feel like success is um being happy, if that's even a thing. I mean, to me, being successful is having your peace of mind and being happy. And I'm sure people will disagree because you can't be happy and have peace of mind without money. So, but I feel like that's it. So for me, the things that make me happy and give me peace of mind is how I feel successful. When I have peace of mind and I'm happy in any moment, I feel like I've got accomplished something. I feel like I'm successful. And it doesn't matter if I'm swimming in money at that point or I'm broke. I just feel like that is because a lot of people are not happy and it comes from a lot. There are people who are living with chronic diseases. They're just not happy with in their lives. There are lots of factors that come into play, but I feel like being happy is being successful. Just my personal opinion though.
Okay, and who is the first person that comes to mind and when you think of, I mean, your opinion about success? Yeah, so I was saying, who is the first person that comes to mind when you think of success for you?
The first person that comes to mind, I think most of them are more of financially successful than being like happy, successful. So I don't know. I'm yet to find somebody who is successful, but it ain't really tied to their financial success. So I really can't tell. But if you're trying to find out somebody I probably admire a lot, then I think um I would pick um there's this South African media personality called Bonang. I love her brand, her personality. I met her once and I loved her. So for now, she is probably somebody I would, because she runs so many successful businesses. She owns so many businesses, but she's such a lovely person. She's a happy person. And yeah, I think that's probably the first person that comes to mind.
Okay, so I think her name is Bonang Dorothy
Yes,
Maki.
Bonang. I think it's Matimbe. I'm not sure how the pronunciation works. I could spell it, but I can't really pronounce it well. It's Bonang Matimbe, I think so, for the surname. Yeah, she's a very nice person, very lovely, very successful in my opinion, and an all-round happy person. And she loves to travel too, so I guess that's where my attraction comes from.
Did she join any of your road trips?
That's hilarious. She's South African. She's a celebrity. She does not live in Ghana, so no.
I thought she came to Ghana and she chose you.
No, I met her in Nigeria at a workshop. She was the main speaker. I was just one of the other speakers, and that's how I fell in love with her.
Wow, that's great. That's great. All right. So, if you had a big or a huge billboard, I think you're Ghanaian, so across the Temamoto Way, what statement would you put on it for people passing by to see? Not commercial. I mean, your personal statement.
Okay. You're not ready for this one though. I think what would it would probably have is try the enjoy, problems no the finish.
Can you repeat that again?
Okay, it's a Nigerian thing they've been saying a lot online. So this is how we say it. Say, try the enjoy, problems no the finish.
Yeah. You want a problem?
I'm yet to come up with a Ghanaian version that sounds as catchy as this one, but that's probably just gonna be it. I'm probably gonna tell people to just live your life. I mean, I understand it's stressful, it's hard, but just try and live your life. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna have something like Travel Ghana on it. That's all. Yeah.
That's not bad. I think the enjoyment covers a lot.
Yeah.
You take enjoyment.
Yeah. I think that's a very nice thing to tell people, and probably would make people slow down on the motorway as well, because they will not be speeding to a meeting when they see that.
That's so accurate. That's so accurate. That's so accurate.
Now that I think about it, we should probably find a way of putting it there.
We should. Maybe your tour guide, your tour will put it there, and we start following
you know, so just put EWM tours up there, and then under a very big sign that says try to enjoy, problems not they finish. I think that's a very nice billboard to have.
So nice, so nice. And what are your past words for people, especially the youth?
Sorry.
Your last words for people, especially the youth.
Oh, okay. I think it's probably tallies around what we just talked about. Try to enjoy, Charlie. I mean, I know I've been living in Accra by myself for like 10 years right after school, and I literally just started fending for myself. So I know how it is out there. It's tough, but you need to chill, be responsible, be safe. This COVID still out there. It's crazy. So be safe and Charlie, try to enjoy. Problems not the finish.
All right. So where can people follow you, reach you? I mean, across board.
I'm very easy to find. So when you go to maajoa.com, everything is there. My fashion brand is there. My tour agency is there. All the information you need is there. So just maajoa.com or just at Maajoa on all social media platforms. And you find all my other business linked to all my profiles. So it's very easy. So when you just find me, you find everything else at Maajoa. And my Maajoa, I spell it Maajoa. So it's very simple. Maajoa. So if you go at Maajoa anywhere, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you find every other business I'm into over there. Or just log on to maajoa.com. So simple.
All right. So I mean, this conversation has been fun. We've learned a lot.
I had fun too. I am glad I did this.
Yeah. I will be enjoying whatever time we have. Thank you so much, Maja, for joining us on this. I'll be looking forward to do, I mean, in the next 8 years interview, maybe we will probably do one before that, but I'm looking forward to
You'll be my first call the minute I retire. Trust me. Just make sure you keep this very awesome podcast running and we'll keep doing it. Thank you for having me.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We promise to bring you new episodes weekly. Subscribe on the various platforms you listen to this podcast on. You can follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at The Young and Old, and on YouTube at The Young and Old Podcasts.